The Lynx are in the semifinal round of the WNBA playoffs against the Connecticut Sun, but the team already snagged some major hardware before this series even started. And the Gopher volleyball team has been one to watch this fall, taking down some top competition this season. Hear how they're prepping to face newly named Big Ten opponents. And it's marathon weekend. Thousands of runners will fill the streets of the Twin Cities. We talked to some health experts on tips to stay safe when competing in these high cardio competitions. And there will be a big green bus at the marathon this year, how it's supporting new moms who are running the race. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marielle Mohs. Here at WCCO, we are celebrating the highlights of female athletes in this new digital segment called Women in Sports. We'll share some news stories with you every week right here as we do our part to give these athletes the recognition they deserve.
I felt really, really good about this team's ability to bounce back. And I said the great thing about this group is they just have to be themselves. They don't have to be somebody that they're not. And if we keep being ourselves, we can navigate any difficult time, right? They know exactly how to do it. And it comes from different people. There's no one that's carrying a heavy load all the time. It's shared, and it's really special to be around.
That was Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve talking about the team as they face the Connecticut Sun in the WNBA playoffs. Just this week, the league named Reeve as the 2024 WNBA Coach of the Year and the 2024 Basketball Executive of the Year. This is her fourth Coach of the Year honor and second executive honor. Reeve was previously honored in 2011, 2016, and 2020. And Lynx captain Napheesa Collier earned the WNBA Defensive Player of the Year title. She joins former Lynx standout Sylvia Fowles as the only franchise players to win the award. Fowles won the award 4 times. Gopher women's volleyball are in the West Coast this weekend to face UCLA and USC. The team is coming off a win against number 7 Wisconsin and a tough loss against number 10 Purdue, where the team struggled to serve receive.
We have this identity now as a defensively tough team, serving, blocking, digging. But we've got to make progress in our ability to side out early in the rally.
The West Coast teams are new to the Big Ten this year. The Gophers are looking to snag another win against a ranked opponent, USC.
High-level opponents in under 48 hours is probably the biggest test. Two teams that are improving quite a bit. They showed, I think they're undefeated in LA right now in the Big Ten, so they certainly welcomed their Eastern opponents well last week. So yeah, there's a lot to look forward to, but I think this group is going to enjoy it.
We don't quit. Every game, every set is just a true fight, and I think our team is staying together really well. And something we talk about is like relying on each other and supporting each other and trusting that we're all going to be there. And I think that's something that we've proved time and time again in all these 5-set matches, is that we're all here for each other all the time.
For senior Lydia Grote, this weekend will be a homecoming of sorts. The California native is playing in front of dozens of friends and family.
I'm super excited. I get to play in front of my home crowd and family and friends, and I grew up just playing games in the USC and UCLA gym, so I'm just very excited. It almost feels like a home match.
The Grand Slam of curling is now underway in Canada's Prince Edward Island. The event features 64 of the world's best teams. Among them is Tabitha Peterson from Burnsville. She's part of the St. Paul Curling Club and represented Team USA in the 2018 and 2022 Olympics. Competition will end this Sunday. Tens of thousands are gathering in the Twin Cities this weekend to push their bodies to the limits. It's marathon week, and Susan Elizabeth Littlefield explains why there's now a spotlight on moms and postpartum runners.
Marathon running. It's a feat less than 1% of the population will conquer, a feat both of these Brooklyn Park moms can claim. But because of their greatest accomplishments, running takes some extra discipline.
About all the early mornings and trying to squeeze in workouts when you can.
But they do.
It's fun to incorporate all of the aspects of my life now with like who I am now, like motherhood, breastfeeding, and kids, and still being able to maintain my activity level has been a lot of fun.
And now maintaining a high level of fitness will be easier for new moms because this just rolled into town.
How would you describe it to someone?
So Barb
is the Rest Express, and she, I like to say, has a personality of her own.
The bus came in from Chicago as part of the Pump Spotting organization that travels the country to uplift moms. To fully understand how Barb works, you have to get on board. The bus is packed with resources, products, even a changing table, and most importantly, a place to nurse.
Having a spot like this one at the race to be able to pump and would have been amazing.
I think it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that it's there.
Barb will be parked at the finish line, ready to serve. Why did the marathon seem like a place where Barb needed to be?
For us, it was really to provide a resource for moms that are athletes, that we can bridge that gap and show that you can do both. And we'll be here to support you.
Making sure the toughest athletes of all can finish the race. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield, WCCO News.
I love it. Welcome to Minnesota, Barb. The Twin Cities Marathon will have another lactation station set up near the start line in Minneapolis at Red Lake Nation College. Barb, the bus will be in St. Paul at the finish line. One big part of training and running a race, especially a marathon, is nutrition. Marielle Mohs spoke with a local dietitian who helps athletes get ready for big days like this.
Just in general, why is nutrition so important while running and training for races for women specifically?
Women's hormones can be more affected if they aren't properly fueled going into any run. So let's say even if you're running 3 miles in the morning and you do it the first thing after waking up in the morning. Overnight, our cortisol, our stress hormone level increases. And if we go run on top of that before eating anything, or even if you were to just drink plain coffee, that's not enough. You want some carbohydrates because this helps to decrease the cortisol level in your body and then helps to better manage your hormones, which is super important for women's health.
Interesting. Wow, it's wild that we can know that about the two different sexes. Does sports or running nutrition differ between men and women?
Most of the research that has been done when it comes to sports nutrition and running and endurance activities has been done on men. And so there's much needed research that needs to be done on women. At this point in time, oftentimes the recommendations that we talk about are both for women and men. There's going to be more individual preferences based on effort level or weight or the environment that you're running in, the weather. Those factors are going to be playing a bigger factor in making adjustments to nutrition.
So you may have been running, okay, and preparing for a race, but you didn't really factor in your nutrition in your preparation. Is there something you should do now, just a couple days before the marathon to get ready for that? Or when going to the race, should you just kind of stick with what you were doing if you hadn't prepped at all?
The cool thing about nutrition and running is oftentimes you'll feel the difference within a pretty short amount of time. So, for example, going into the race weekend, running a race, you are going to feel much better if you have carbohydrates and are eating more carbohydrates going into the race. Of course, there's that personal aspect to it of how much carbohydrates. So carbohydrates being like rice, bread, grains, potatoes, fruit. These are all foods that have carbohydrates in. And so increasing those going into race day, as long as you are sticking with foods that your body can tolerate and that you're used to, helps to prevent, honestly, from hitting the wall, especially in a half or a full marathon on race day.
What could happen if you're not properly fueled during race days?
So if you've ever heard, like I mentioned, the term hitting the wall, this is literally where your body does not have carbohydrates in the form of glucose. So this is the carbohydrate that's found in your blood, or glycogen. This is a stored form of carbohydrate. This is literally where your body doesn't have this fuel available anymore, and it has to start using fat. as the main source of energy. And fat is just a very slow energy source. So like people hit the wall, they have to slow way down in order to keep going because now their body is using fat or fatty acids as a primary source of energy.
On the other side of fueling is hydrating. Talk to me about the importance of hydrating for before, during, and after races.
Even a 2% dehydration that can result from not drinking enough fluids and taking in enough sodium can affect your performance or affect how you feel. So hydration is super important because this helps, it helps so many different aspects of it. And part of it is like we are sweating during a run. And so we have to replace those fluids and we have to replace those electrolytes, specifically sodium is the biggest one that we have to replace. Sometimes like on race courses, they'll offer like a sports drink and water, but that might not be enough. Pretty much across the board, that's not enough sodium and electrolytes for those individuals running a full marathon.
I did just see that they're offering pickle juice at the 13 mile for the marathon this year.
Yes. They've offered pickle juice, and that is high sodium. Of course, I always recommend do not try anything new for the first time on race day. But if somebody has been drinking pickle juice and drinking it, around their runs, it's probably going to be fine.
So interesting. Christy also reminded Maria that everyone is a bit worried about any of these races this weekend. You don't have to run the whole thing. You can do a combination of a run-walk and walk all the hills. For more information, you can check out her website, marathonnutritionist.com. Another big topic when talking about marathons and just running in general is heart health. Maria spoke with a cardiologist who says men compared to women are actually at greater risk in any kind of athletic competition.
Is there a difference between men and women when it comes to running in general and when it comes to running marathons based on heart health and safety?
Yeah, no, that's a very interesting question. So men, whatever exercise event you look at, and the risk for men is always greater than women. And we understand, certainly men get coronary disease at a younger age than women do. But it's not just coronary disease. So we don't totally understand all the variables that go into why men are more at risk than women. But you look at any study in athletics, that is the case. Dr. Roberts, who's been the medical director of the Twin Cities Marathon, has actually looked at the amount of plaque in the heart arteries in men that have done the marathon like 25 consecutive years. And they have a fair amount of plaque that's built up in their heart arteries. However, when they look at women that have done, a number of marathons, there's much less plaque. And so that's another thing that we don't totally understand, why men are laying down the plaque differently than women.
Now, switching topics, as October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, this year the Minnesota's Susan G. Komen Foundation is doing something new to raise money and awareness in the fight against breast cancer. It's called 3-Day Your Way. All you have to do is choose to walk any 3 days of the month, do 20, 40, or 60 miles on your own time, at your own pace, and you can create your own route. The hope is to make it more convenient for participants. Pauline Lee caught up with organizers who say it's important to remember why these events exist.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and all month long you're encouraged to get out in your own communities, maybe find a beautiful park like this one at Silverwood Park in St. Anthony, and take a walk. 3 days, your way, and it's all in an effort to raise money and awareness in the fight against breast cancer. So we have two lovely ladies here from Susan G. Komen here in Minnesota to tell us more about this new initiative. Marianne and Anne, hello, thanks for joining us.
Hello to you.
Hello. Well, this is a new initiative that's different than what we've done in the past. So it's 3 days your way. So Marianne, how does this all work? What do we do?
Okay, the idea is to let it be the way the person wants to do the walk, raise the money.
Okay.
It's not a designated 3 days like it used to be.
Right.
It's whenever during the month is most convenient for you. So you pick your days, you pick your route, and you raise money for all the services that Komen provides. We do advocacy work, try to get things passed that will help breast cancer survivors. We have a helpline, so when you're diagnosed, we help you through the whole process, which can be very daunting. And of course, wonderful research. We've been able to help reduce fatalities since the 80s. We've made wonderful progress, but there's so much more to do, and this is a way that you can help. You can plot your own 3-day, however you want to do it.
It's literally your way.
Yes.
At your own pace.
It's a response to people having busy lives, and they want to do it the way they want to do it. So we're encouraging that and giving people that opportunity.
Now, obviously, October is a big month for breast cancer awareness, but the work doesn't stop here. There's plenty of events all year long. One coming up next, Mother's Day about, Ann?
That's accurate. Yes, Race for the Cure takes place over Mother's Day weekend, May 10th. It is our largest fundraiser here in Minnesota. Our goal this year is $550,000. We're looking to have 4,000 to 5,000 walkers get out there at Viking Lakes in Egan. And we have a goal of about 240 teams. So it takes all of us. It's corporate sponsors, employees from those corporations, individuals, patients, and their families and their networks to really get behind all of this.
It really takes a village.
Yes, it takes a village.
So in preparation for that, hey, let's go out and do 3 days your way. So Marianne, if people are wondering, I don't know if I could do it, like 3 days, 60 miles, that seems like a lot. And then you also have to fundraise too, and it's tough times economically. What do you say to that?
We're making it as easy as we can. You can train for it. You don't just get up one morning and start walking 20 miles. You prepare. People of all ages are doing it, and you have to keep in mind why you're doing it. The cause here is so important, and it touches so many people. More younger people are being diagnosed. There's new research out that shows that. We don't really know why, but Komen is working on figuring out why.
For those of you who would like to sign up or donate, we have more information on our website, WCCO.com. Thanks for watching this week's Women in Sports. We will be back with more great stories next week. And go Lynx! I'm Marielle Mohs.